Hello and welcome back, everybody, to Lucy, the eternity she wished for. So, I'm recording this as of Friday, but as you may or may not know, I have no internet. Like, absolutely not. So, that sucks. So many dicks, I can't even describe it. I can't put it into words, even though I'm trying just now. But man, that pisses me off so much. But what can you do? So I'm trying to get all the stuff up as soon as possible, and I hope I get internet back as soon as possible. But in the meantime, I can at least record stuff, so I have stuff pre-recorded when I can upload stuff again. So, without further ado, let's jump into the episode. Before I knew it, it was already time for the final class of the day. At last, another monotonous day of school was coming to a close. But it feels as if this lecture will go on for eternity. That's normal, but the last class is always eternity. Except if the last class was history. I love history. Time seems to be inching along at a turtle's pace. The chalkboard is filled with scribbles that are barely decipherable. It makes it much more difficult to understand the lesson, which is already painfully tough to begin with. I can't take this anymore. The teacher is also awful at explaining things. His words go through one ear and right out the other. Unable to hold back the incoming fatigue, I let out a small yawn. Looking around me, it doesn't seem like anyone else is doing much better. All the unreasonable, pushy teachers have something in common. They never explain anything in the simplest way. They always make... Simplest. Is that really... I would have said most simple. Simplest. Most simple. I mean, usually, whatever. They always make everything seem more complicated than it needs to be. A bunch of rotten snobs. That's what they are. You know what this... There's one problem I have with this little scene. And it's not that he's not right. There are teachers like that. And it's actually nothing big. But if he would only have mentioned in what kind of class they are. And what they are talking about. This would have... I don't know, it would seem so much more real, you know? Often... it's about the details. It's about the details more often than you think. If you just say, the teacher in the class is explaining the things just so complicatedly. If we would have just said, I don't know, our Korean teacher talks about the Korean literature of the Middle Ages, and it's so complicated I don't understand a word. It already is 10 times better, you know? Like the teacher that explains the things, that's something someone in 6th class writes, you know? That's not what you write and something you sell. But I'm just saying, it's actually not as big as I make it seem. But, I don't know, it's still not good. Nothing in this world lasts forever. The teacher's dreadful onslaught of words ultimately comes to an end. Watching a politician give a speech is probably much less infuriating. All that is left now is to go home. Time to get out of this place. Feeling like a prisoner who's just been set free, I quickly pack up my belongings. I wave goodbye to Dr. Gears and head home. Also, still not really over Dr. Gears. On the way, I suddenly realized something. I'd completely forgotten about my Android at the repair shop. I almost ended up heading straight home. I doubled back towards my new destination. Sorry, I was just checking. So, the background. We have the sign for MVisLab, so that is always funny. I like when creators put their own signs into the backgrounds. Downtown Street. But except for that, I don't really recognize anything. I guess if you're more familiar with pop culture or something, for example, I bet... Do you see the two anime girls in the upper left corner? Oh, whoops. The poster on the right wall, you see that with the 4 persons? I bet that is some kind of reference I don't get. So maybe, if you're more familiar, you can get more familiar with Korean pop culture or Japanese pop culture, that I don't know. You probably would get out of this more. Would get more out of this. God damn it. Not only my internet is screwed up, my English is as well. I arrive at the shop. By looking through the windows, I could see that the place isn't too busy. There are just a handful of people wandering about. But the repairman himself, I can't find him. Without hesitation, I enter the building.
안티크숍에 어서 오세요. 손님, 뭘 찾으시나요?
Oh, excuse me. I wasn't aware you were still talking. By the way, I was told in the comments that I should turn on the Japanese dub because it sounds cuter. Or I think I would have looked it up if I had internet, but I think that is what I was told. But I'll do that for the last episode, so we can kinda compare the differences, you know. As soon as I set my foot inside, I was immediately greeted by a female staff. The voice had a sweet, vibrant texture. It really caught me off guard. I'd never expected a girl to be manning the store. I guess she's a part-timer. I turn around to face the person calling out to me, and my jaw drops to the floor. You! Oh my god, it's myself! It takes a while for her to recognize me. When she finally does, her fair face lights up instantly.
드디어 와주셨군요, 주인님. 애타게 기다리고 있었답니다.
Fascinating. Okay, I gotta say I liked how the face changes. That was funny. It was the android named Lucy Valentine who had greeted me at the door. Are my eyes playing tricks on me? There's no way that useless thing could be standing there talking to me. There isn't any hint of awkwardness in her smile. To reaffirm my suspicions, I check once more. Lucy? You're Lucy, right?
네, 맞아요. 루시는 다른 누구도 아닌 루시랍니다.
I was correct, it seems. What happened to you?
네, 주인님. 어떻게 된 거냐고 하시면...
Oh, excuse me. That voice. And your face. And you're standing on your own, right?
네, 물론이에요, 주인님. 루시는 지금 두 발로 서 있답니다. 에헴.
Okay, I gotta say though, I like that they put work into actually having a lot of different poses, etc. for Lucy. A lot of different face expressions, poses, etc. You know, many games don't bother with that too much. But I've already seen quite a few here, and I gotta say, I'm a big fan of that. Lucy puffs up her chest, looking proud. I mean, that's not really something to be proud of, but thinking back to how she was before, it was damn well impressive. You do look better now, so there's nothing wrong with you anymore?
네, 주인님. 지금 루시는 몸이 가벼워서 날아갈 것만 같답니다.
After those words, she does a little ballerina spin in place. She had the appearance of a mature, well-pampered maiden, yet at the same time, looked silly like a child. But her sprint abruptly ends as she crashes onto the floor. And there goes my peace of mind.
아직 원상태는 아닌 모양이에요.
Lucy smiles sheepishly. While that's going on, I'm staring at her with a loss of words. Her perfectly natural, non-robotic human voice. Her personality full of rich human emotions. Her face showing all kinds of believable expressions and reactions. And her freely moving arms and legs. To say that I'm amazed would be a gross understatement. I'm so amazed that I'm at a loss for words. My brain has turned to mush. My vocabulary has all but been forgotten. I wouldn't show it on the outside, of course. Losing control of your emotions reveals your weakness. Well, if you say so. Well, honestly, it's not just because of that. I also didn't want to admit to her that I was surprised. What a change in a matter of few hours. This is amazing.
처음으로 주인님한테 칭찬을 받았네요. 기쁘다. 에템?
I'm complimenting the guy who fixed you up, not you.
쿵, 그럴 수가.
The look of disappointment on her face was quite surreal. How can I possibly explain this? Magic? Had she been enchanted by a witch? Old stories from childhood come to mind. The nine-tailed fox who desired to become human. The little mermaid who also wished to become human. What happened to them? They never ended up fulfilling their own wishes. Yeah. When I first learned how the actual fairy tale of the little mermaid. That's a tough word. When I first learned about how that fairy tale actually ends, man, that sucked. Not as fine as the Disney version. But this robot makes me think, if that little mermaid's wish ever came true, wouldn't she be celebrating just like this? Alright, enough of these silly thoughts. I should be looking for the repairman. But the problem is, I've already spent some time searching and he's nowhere to be found. Say, what happened to that guy who put you in charge?
네, 주인 아저씨께서는 필요한 물품을 조달하러 잠깐 외출하셨답니다.
He's not here. What about his store?
에헴, 가게는 지금 훌륭한 점원이 대신 보고 있답니다.
An assistant. Where?
에헴.
What? Is she talking about? What is she talking about?
에헴.
I don't see anyone.
에헴.
Lucy, who once stood tall with pride and confidence, is now almost broken down in tears. No, to me, actually, this face looks more like, God damn it, you're an idiot. And you are an idiot. I wish she'd stop flipping through all these different emotions. But feeling bad for her, I decide to drop the act. Ah, you were playing with her. Haha, how funny. Okay, I get it. You're the one in charge for the time being.
네, 맞아요, 주인님. 지금은 루시가 가게를 보고 있답니다.
Okay, I redecided. Since I think we got a good impression of the Korean voice, let's compare it to the Japanese voice. Her expression changes faster than the speed of light. Her sadness from just a moment ago has long left the earth in a rocket. But I honestly can't believe this guy. Leaving Lucy to take care of the store on the first day he has met her. Especially to such a ditzy robot. You'd need to have a few screws loose to think that this would be a smart idea.
マスター、何か考え事でも。
It sounds, first of all, it sounds really different. Way softer. Way softer. Huh. I'm not thinking about anything. And can you stop calling me master all the time? It's obnoxious.
でも、マスターはマスターです。
Use my name instead.
でも、ルーシーはマスターの名前を知りません。これを機に教えてください。
Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure I failed the last time I tried to tell her my name. Huh. How about I just tell her whatever comes to my mind? Aha! So that is why I don't have a name. But that is a very awkward way of doing things. By the way, the noises you just heard were, you know, me getting my keyboard. So, my name is, of course, Ernesto. Obviously. Ernesto? I have an even better name. The name is Mr. Handsome. Ha ha ha. Whoa!
マスター、そんな嘘は通じません。
Were you trying to death me, lady?
他人を騙すなんて良くないです。嘘は罪です。
So you're telling me I'm ugly?
いえ。そういう意味で言ったわけでは。ミスです、ミス。
Now, to be honest, I'm a bigger fan so far of the Korean voice, but let's give the Japanese one. I gave the Korean one more time, so we'll go along with it a bit more. She curls up instinctively, thinking she might be scolded for messing up.
そうでなくて、名前に嘘をついたらダメってことです。本当の名前を教えてください。
How absurd! Upon what basis are you claiming that your master is not telling the truth?
さっき名前を入力しているのを見ました。
Oh, come on! Even the game's working against me. I don't even care anymore. Just call me master.
はい、マスター。
Still no fan of the U. Couldn't we change that to Ernesto? I'm a big fan of Ernesto.
マスター
What?
マスタ
What do you want?
ーなんとなく呼んでみました。
Are you messing with me?
いえいえ、めっそうもございません。マスターと呼べる方がいて、とっても嬉しいです。だから、なんとなく呼んでみました。
An enormous smile blooms over her face. How could she have such a dull personality? Was she still broken somewhere? Or was she purposely designed to be so laughable? Yeah, she's a bit over the top happily, like an anime character. But she's also, you know, drawn like an anime character. Dressed like an anime character. So I guess it makes sense. Maybe she's on drugs. Do drugs for robots even exist in the first place? I come up with a list of possibilities, but obviously I wouldn't be able to find the answer. The point is that I can't seem to keep up with the robot's pace. Where's the repairman when I need him? About 10 minutes later, the repairman finally returned. To tell you the truth, I was planning on approaching him first. But I never got the opportunity to do so, because the moment he saw me, he threw away everything in his hands and charged towards me like a madman. Then he gripped both of my hands tightly. Please let me have Lucy! What kind of screwed up situation is this? And also, why are you so pixelated, man? Back off! So your pixel ratio is okay or so. He looks as if he's asking his girlfriend's father to let him marry her. I immediately announce my decision. No, I will not let you marry her. What are you on about? You hire something? That is my line. What do you think you're doing? The owner takes some time to collect himself. Ahem. Perhaps that wasn't the best way to put it. Kid, would you ever consider selling me that android? This was completely unexpected. You want me to sell her? Yeah, I can give you this much. He takes out his calculator and shows me the figures. My mind goes numb for 5 seconds. Are you serious? Of course. What do you think? Not a bad deal for a student, right? Not even adults can easily find this kind of money, you know. Looking at the state of this old building, I wonder if he really can afford to spend that much. He's overexerting himself for sure. I stare at Lucy in silence. She seems to be frozen in place. She probably wasn't expecting this to happen. She returns a pained, somber look. I could almost picture a miserable, kidnapped slave about to be shipped out to sea. Come on now. That's a little rude, don't you think? He's not about to eat you alive or anything. I turn back to face the repairman. You'd pay this much? Do you really think Lucy's worth that kind of money? Shit. Of course! He yells in excitement. That scared me. It felt like my eardrums were about to pop. Listen carefully. Any decently priced robot model comes with an AI or a module that allows them to mimic human emotions. You know this much, right? Yes, somewhat. Well, creating such a module is an incredibly complex process. Even then, do you know how well they perform? Huh. To compare them to a real person, they still seem a long ways off. Exactly. No matter how much effort we put into making these modules, they can only copy humans in the most basic sense. It's not yet possible for them to feel, or to think, or to express emotions on their own. I think I'm beginning to see the picture here. Looking back at Lucy, I start to put together what he's trying to tell me. Oh, you're a sharp kid, aren't you? They teach kids pretty well these days. So, what do you think I'm trying to say? Lucy's actually a person as disguised as a robot. Lucy is actually a princess under a spell. Lucy is an exceptionally well-made robot. Okay, let's fuck with him, shall we? Just for the hell of it. So, Lucy's actually a princess under a spell. Basically, Lucy is really a princess under a magic spell which has turned her into a robot. To lift the curse, she requires a kiss from a handsome knight, right? The look in his eyes tells me that he's seriously worried about me. Specifically about my hat. Alright, let us refrain from doing things that might permanently damage my reputation. Do you understand my inner self? I'm joking. You're telling me that Lucy's an exceptional robot that's about as close as it gets to a real person, right? Honestly, I was quite surprised about that as well. I've never seen such a robot that could emulate a real person so well. Even the new models nowadays reveal their flaws after a minute-long conversation. But I couldn't sense anything particularly out of place while chatting with Lucy. It felt just like talking to a real person. Yep. To put it simply, this is a person made out of metal. A human robot. An iron maiden. Ooh, that was a joke. A joke I could have made. It was that bad. A revolution in the robotics industry. The guy who created Lucy must be a true genius. Huh. That aside, good thing he caught himself before calling Lucy a certain power armor wearing superhero. Nobody likes patent infringement lawsuits. But you are aware that there is also a band called Iron Maiden. And there is a thing as an Iron Maiden, although I don't think someone has a trademark on an actual Iron Maiden, but that is besides the point. Anyway, if she was such a perfect... reading. Spectacular. Why did I read spectacular for perfect? Anyway, if she was such a spectacular robot, would she really be thrown away like that? Oh, I'd actually found something weird. There was some sort of built-in protection feature that was stopping the robot from working properly. A protection feature. I vaguely remember what that was. The useless junk version of Lucy might have said something about it yesterday. Whatever it was, she seems to be doing fine now. And you removed it. Yeah, it wasn't too difficult, since it was just one of those you put on display models. I'm just curious as to why they would bother doing such a thing before throwing it away. He appears to be lost in thought. That is a good question. Huh. It might mean that the innovator wanted to keep this new technology sealed away from humanity. Yeah, but why? Aren't there more, like, direct ways to destroy a robot? I'm just saying. If not, then maybe... What if there was a serious bug? That sounds more logical. That's what I thought That's what I thought too, so I ran some tests, but I found nothing. It's safe to say that she won't be harming anyone. Why would she ever want to harm people? Oh, I get where we're going. Okay, now I get where we're going. So, we're working here with the robot laws of Asimov. Ha ha ha, by the way. I learned that today on TV. You know, it's funny. I was aware that there is something as robot laws, and I've heard of that before. But as you know, if you watched the Let's Play of mine, I had no idea what these laws exactly were. And today I watched TV because I don't have internet. And I saw an episode of Big Bang Theory. And they talked about Asimov's robot laws, which sounded kind of familiar to me. And then I knew why. So I learned something from TV. And from a sitcom at that. Who knew? So, but I wanted to talk about something else actually. I see where we are going. If Lucy is too human-like, she can't, you know, follow all the rules that there are for robots. For example, she might harm another human because of her emotions or something. Or she won't protect herself at any cost, or some, you know, something along those robot laws lines. And that might be why she was thrown to the junkyard in the first place. I'm just saying that she properly obeys the 3 laws of robotics. Ah. The 3 laws of robotics. Yeah, we already read that. Yeah, okay, robot must obey all given to you, except when such a conflict with the first law. Robot must protect his own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first and second law. Yeah. We already read that in the beginning. These laws allow us humans to keep robots in order. They make sure that humans will always have authority over robots. Major catastrophes can be prevented as long as these conditions are properly met. I've heard that if a robot ever disobeys one of these laws, it would immediately shut itself down under any circumstances. That's why there aren't any glaring flaws to the system. I shift my focus back to the numbers printed on the calculator. Then I look back at Lucy. She's emitting the gaze of a forlorn puppy, causing a prickled sensation up on my face. After a moment's hesitation, she seemed to have made up her mind about something. She slowly makes her way towards me. What's wrong? What I find interesting is that apparently she is self-aware enough. I mean, we know that she's apparently completely human in the way she acts, etc. But as she knows, if she stays here, she will probably be taken apart. That is why she's trying hard to stay with Ernesto, because that's his name from now on. Yes, and? So what? I never get tired of seeing Lucy look so depressed. It seems to have unleashed the hidden sadist within me. She was trying her very best to show off her charm. Essentially, she's a self-advertising product. You don't see that every day. But willing to go this far for me. It would be too cruel to let her go at this point. I'm not gonna make the deal, so don't worry. As I finished my sentence, the looks on their faces were different as night and day. The repairman sulks while Lucy breathes a sigh of relief. Anyway, she's good to go now, right? Here's the money. With quivering hands, I take out some bills from my wallet and hand it over. My money. My money. The repairman hesitates for a moment, but finally takes it with a bitter look. For now, yeah. But be careful not to put any strain on her legs for a while. It's okay to move around the house, but she should avoid any extended periods of walking. So I need to carry her home on my back again? I guess it can't be helped. She's not too heavy, so I can manage. Well, that's it for today. Thank you. His eyes are filled with regret. He really doesn't want to let Lucy go. But I flat out ignore him and prepare to leave. I'll be sure to pay you another visit if something else comes up. Okay, but make sure to treat her well. And don't overwork her too much, alright? See you later too, Lucy. You can come visit any time. The look on his face while waving goodbye to Lucy was truly a spectacle. This time, he seemed to be the father seeing his daughter leave with another man. Guy's completely out of it. I've definitely made the right choice by keeping Lucy. Alrighty. Then, let's end the episode here, shall we? So if I'm not completely mistaken, I have played this game now for around 2.5 hours. No, I think a bit above. So let's say we make the next episode one will be 20 minutes long. And then I gotta stop the Let's Play because 3 hours at max. And when we're done with this Let's Play, I'll finish the game for myself and I'll do a little review of it. So, next episode, final episode I guess. And then the review. So, thank you everybody for watching. Come back for the next episode. And I'll see you then. Bye bye.